The views expressed in this podcast are for entertainment purposes only. Although explicit language will be used, the opinions of the podcast are not meant to malign any ethnic group, party, institution, or individual. Thank you for watching and enjoy the show.
The name of the show is Build It While You Fly It. The email address is builditwhileyouFlyIt@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube. Just go ahead and search BWYF. That's probably where you're at now. And since you're here, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Feel free to tell everybody you could possibly tell about the show. And let folks know that, hey, it's these two brothers on YouTube that got a pretty interesting show. You should listen. I get hit up by a lot of people who are just now finding out that this show exists, and I get a lot of positive feedback, man. I've gotten some negative feedback, but I've gotten more positive feedback.
For sure,
and
for sure.
For me right now in this process, I think the fact that we're getting feedback is the important part.
That's right.
I'm not necessarily concerned with whether it's good or not, whether I like it or not. Everybody has an opinion, and by putting our point of views out here, we kind of obligated to listen to everybody.
Indeed.
So, there you go. Until I get big enough to the point where I no longer have to listen to y'all's opinion, I want to know what you're thinking. And I ain't going to get big enough to that point without you.
Yeah.
So, there it is. We on YouTube. We on Instagram at Build It. What are we on Instagram? BWYF.podcast. And what are we on Facebook?
I don't know. I think it's BWYF.
I think it is.
BWYF.
I think it's BWYF on Facebook too.
Let's go.
We got a lot. We're working on a whole bunch of stuff. We're working on some guests for season 2. So a little bit, few more church announcements. We're only doing 12 episodes this season. Yeah. We plan on taking the holidays off.
Yes, indeed.
We all got families. We all got obligations and so on and so forth. So we're gonna shoot our shows for the first 12 episodes of the season 1, or the 12 episodes of season 1, and then we're gonna pick it back up, and we got a lot of changes we want to make to this whole thing. First and foremost, we're looking for sponsors. We got a couple of them that we've been talking to, communicating with back and forth, but we would like to support some small businesses, some local people in the area that are, got some good things happening, some positive things happen with what they're trying to do in their community. Some folks that's providing a service. So if you are one of those people, or you know of one of those people, feel free to email the show again at builditwhileyouFlyIt@gmail.com, and we would love to shout you out on the show.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, that's a thing, and I'm really looking forward to that. So, partnering up with a couple of folks, making some things happen. How's the family, man?
Family's great, man. How about yours?
Yeah, they get on my nerves. No, they do. They get on my. I mean, first of all, everybody's good. Everybody's healthy.
Right.
I ain't asking for too much more than that.
Okay.
And that's usually how it goes. It's just as my family gets older, they somehow seem to want more. And I've always felt like I've done enough.
Okay.
Ain't nobody in here hungry. Everybody got food, shelter, water.
Okay.
Everybody seem to be growing at a massive rate. At least the young ones is. So I don't feel like I need to do too much more. My family seems to think that, as they go through things, more shit needs to be provided. And I'm just like, that's what y'all think, huh?
Okay.
It's crazy because I'm trying to determine on if I'm whipped or if they're spoiled.
What's the difference between whipped and spoiled?
That's actually a legitimate question. I'll tell you what, we'll do some research. I'll take
Let's see.
I'll take whipped.
All right.
And you take spoiled.
I'll take spoiled, man. All right, let me see. Spoiled. All right, spoiled. A person, especially a child, harmed in character by being treated too leniently or indulgently. He acts like a spoiled brat, quote unquote. Okay. So
Okay, so there's a couple different definitions of whipped. First of all, a whip is a tool designed to strike a human or other animal to exert control through pain, compliance, or the fear of pain. I'm really disappointed that it says designed to strike a human or other animals. Like, that's kind of crazy. and for what I'm finding, the slang term, if you will, it's if someone is in a romantic relationship, is whipped. They let their romantic partner have a great deal of control over what they do and where they go, etc. So, do my kids have me whipped according to this definition? Or am I spoiling my kids according to that definition? Your definition. I truly don't think, and I don't think you can spoil somebody that don't got you whipped.
take it away from the kids.
Okay.
I think that there's just a certain standard level
Of
care when it comes with kids.
okay.
Not everybody adheres to it. That's neither here nor there.
That's neither here nor there, but I would agree. Okay.
But now, I mean, maybe not take it away from kids. I think that people have been accused of spoiling their children, been accused of spoiling their significant other. Does that mean they're whipped if they are spoiling these said individuals? Man,
I think when it comes to kids, it's important to know if you're getting a return on your investment.
go deeper.
If your kids are spoiled and they're failing school, then you're whipped. But if your kids are doing well, handling responsibilities, being respectful, and just an all-around good person, like if you're still responsible for taking care of a good person, and they have now become accustomed to the finer things in life because you provide them, then I don't think your kids are spoiled. I think when you got badass kids that ain't about shit, they don't follow instructions, they don't do a damn thing you tell them to do. When you put responsibility in front of them, they do the best they can to avoid it.
Do you think that, going back to this definition, do you think that the definition of spoiled talks about harming someone's character by being too lenient and too indulgent? Do you think that the average person thinks that they are doing harm to someone's character by being too lenient with them or too indulgent with them?
The average person.
The average person.
I would like to excuse me. Probably not.
Okay.
And here's why I say that, because I don't think that the average person is intelligent.
How could we possibly harm someone's character by being too lenient or indulgent with them? What are some of those ways?
Children that aren't held accountable for their actions or forced to take responsibility for their behaviors do the same shit as adults. Period. If you ain't following the rules as a kid, you damn sure ain't gonna follow the rules as an adult.
I like it.
And from time to time, that has the possibilities to be extremely detrimental on you being a successful adult.
I like it. So then, if I'm a child who was spoiled, i.e., harmed character, because those who were the caretakers were too indulgent and too lenient, then I'm probably going to end up in relationships that cater to that, right?
Well, that depends. And here,
or look for relationships that continue that spoiled nature?
Yeah, you will. But see, here,
do you think that do you think that the person who's being spoiled knows they're being harmed?
Hell no.
Man, this is deep.
Hell no, they don't know. And here's what happens. Sometimes you get spoiled by a parent or some sort of guardian or a relative or something of that nature. And then here's what happens. You look for that in a spouse. And I don't give a damn what do you like, what gender you prefer. All of that shit is irrelevant. You look for what you want. And if you want somebody that was spoiling you to continue to spoil you, then that's what you're doing. Here's the thing. Sometimes people find it, sometimes people don't. Okay. Sometimes people deserve it. Sometimes people have earned the right by being there in the 4 major categories, as we always talk about on the show. Some people are good to you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and financially.
Okay.
And in the event they're that, then maybe they've earned some of these added incentives. Maybe they've earned the right for you to be a little bit more lenient. But the problem is, and this is what I think the difference between spoiled and whipped it. When you're spoiled, you don't reciprocate any of it. When you give badass kids whatever the fuck they want, you spoiling this kid.
Okay.
If your kids got you whipped, it's because they know exactly what they need to do for you to provide them with the things that they want.
Okay.
That's when a kid has you. Like if you told one of your kids, you say, hey, if you get straight A's, you get X, Y, and Z. And they'd be like, all right, challenge accepted. And they provide you with straight. Now again, that's some return on your investment. Right. Because a kid with a high GPA is going to do a couple of things. They're usually going to advance into college, and at which point you can start to release some of this.
Okay.
You can start to let go because your child is now growing into a responsible adult.
Right.
Yes, they had you whipped through their entire childhood because they possessed the ability to again do the things that they knew you wanted to do.
But is it whipped if it's fair exchange? Because I believe that fair exchange is no robbery.
No, I think it's only whipped when it's fair exchange.
Only whipped when it's fair exchange?
Yes.
Explain.
If it ain't fair exchange, it's spoiled.
If it's not fair exchange, it's spoiled.
Yes. If it's fair exchange, she got me whipped. Everything that I want her to do, she pulling out all the stops. I explained to her that I really wanted to be able to say that I saw Stevie Wonder live. And she flew me out to Oakland for a cancer research benefit, and I had no idea why we was there, and then Stevie walked out on stage.
So it's what you're saying is a fair exchange is a reciprocation of whipping each other. I like it.
In the event, and that's how that works. If your girl is trash, and you still providing her with everything that she wants, she's spoiled. And you're doing the spoiling.
Okay. And therefore harming her character?
That part.
I like it.
That part.
I like it.
Which is an interesting dynamic because here's what I see happening a lot. Women and men, for that matter, are and I think this just goes for society as a whole. It seems like people are becoming way more accustomed to spoiling themselves. They want things. They want things because it makes them happy. It satisfies urges. It cures fears. It fights against a lot of people's fears. Whatever the fuck that people want, they go get it, right? Okay. And here's what happens is when you do that, you don't possess the ability to wait for somebody else to provide it for you. Because you don't spoil people or become whipped in a relationship until you start providing things, whether it's being reciprocated or not. So here's how it works. If you want this person, if you want to have this person whipped, it needs to start reciprocating. I'm not going to provide you with the things that you want until I see it reciprocating. People don't have that type of patience anymore. We live in an insta society.
Okay.
So people are literally whipped around themselves. They're putting in the work to get the things that they want, but they're providing it for themselves. So when anybody comes into this situation and they say, I'm feeling you, I want to be around, and this, that, and the third, and they was like, well, if you're feeling me, I really want this. And it's like, and ain't that I don't want to buy it. It's just, let's put a little time. Let's put up a calendar.
Okay.
Let's take down the calendar and put up a new calendar, and then we'll see how this whole situation go. And it's like, but I could kind of provide it for myself now. So why do I need you? And this is a whole nother podcast, but at the same time, this is one of my issues with strong, independent people. Don't traditionally make good spouses. Men or women.
Say that again.
Strong, independent people.
I agree.
And a lot of people want to be strong and independent, and I do things myself and I fight for myself. And I think society as a whole needs those people. But what I also know is that those people don't make good spouses. They lack the patience to be in a committed relationship, because as soon as you get inconvenienced, you was like, bro, I could be inconvenienced by myself.
And you know what's crazy?
I'm out.
I like that you said that, because there's so much emphasis on independence, which is
overrated.
The emphasis should really be on interdependence.
Elaborate.
Interdependence is we work together hand in hand.
Two people whipped around each other.
We can call it that, but
just for the sake of the conversation,
But interdependence versus independence, because what is independence really? If we really were to break it down to independence, then we would then start talking about the people in society we don't need, which I feel like we better together.
That, man, listen, if you ain't learned nothing over the last year and a half, is that we need folks. That we need folks to do right.
Yeah.
We still need people right now.
Yeah.
And it's crazy as to how distant people can be.
Yeah.
And how much it still affects you. Yeah. I put it to you this way. Them shipyards out west, they got them freighter trucks that came over with all of that shit that they can't unload. Yeah. So you can't get material over here. We got orders at my job that are still late due to the lack of material to produce them.
Wow.
Right now, to this day, they are still late. And there ain't no signs of this stuff coming in anytime soon.
Man, we need to have a stronger sense of interdependence, man. On a personal level, on a professional level. And as far as how that ties into being whipped versus spoiled, fair exchange is no robbery. I think that when it comes to spoiling, there's not like we said, there's no fair exchange when it comes to spoiling.
It's not.
Which is why there's harm done to the character.
Yep.
Because the character that's being spoiled doesn't understand the importance of reciprocity. You must reciprocate when in any type of collaboration with anybody.
Yeah. You better, yeah.
Don't just take.
Yeah.
Give.
Yeah.
If you're gonna compete with the other person, compete in giving. Who can give better?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not
that part.
Not I took that from them and I ain't give them nothing. You didn't do nothing, man.
Yeah. You did way more harm than you ever did good.
What you did was put an expiration date on that situation. The moment you did that.
Seriously. Like, am I spoiling my kid if I tell him I'm going to give you a shit ton of money for grades? A lot of parents will say, grades is his responsibility. You shouldn't be paying him for that. If he gets good grades, he's going to make a lot of money.
Exactly.
I want him to go to college. So if he gets good grades and he makes National Honor Society, or in his case, National Junior Honor Society, then at that point, he is now going to go to college. Especially that type of situation, because, I mean, shit. National Junior Honor Society usually come with some scholarships, at which point he's saving me money.
Yeah.
And not just one or two. I'm talking about thousands of dollars.
He should get kickbacks.
He should be getting kickbacks. He should be getting kickbacks. He should.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Job well done.
Your grades is where they need to be. If you doing what you need to do as far as sports and academics and things like that, bruh.
If you do well on the job, you get a bonus, right?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, then.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I don't understand that.
So, yeah, that's when this was. So, in that case, my son, for instance, would have me whipped. Because everything I ask him to do, he does, and everything that he wants, he gets.
Right. Now,
and I am perfectly okay with that entire arrangement.
Now, you just made me think of something else, though. With that, I like that you said that. What I think happens in a lot of people's minds is that beyond performance is where they have the question. As far as relationship is concerned, like your son, for example, he doesn't have to try to be your son.
No,
he is your son,
whether he likes it or not.
Right? You don't have to try to be his father. You are his father.
Yes.
Now, what I see in a lot of adults is in childhood, they've tried to perform for their parents' love, not realizing that you are your parents' child, well, no matter how you cut it. And your parent is your parent, no matter how you cut it.
Yeah.
And no performance can change that.
Yeah.
Now, certain behavior, whether it's appropriate or not, can shift the relationship. But that's still your parent. That's still your child.
And you know what is funny? I just had this conversation with him. Because he asked me, can he go and hoop with his older cousin, and it was on a weekday, and it was from 9 to 11. Now he's 14 years old. To say that he'd be asleep at 11 o'clock, some nights probably, all nights probably not. So I didn't really have a problem with him going to play basketball, especially it was with his cousin. I know where they were going, and he needed a ride. It was kind of late, so I'm like, I'm gonna go with you. I'm not gonna hoop because I gotta go to work in the morning, and I ain't trying to be like that, or broke up and shit. So I'm like, I'm gonna go with you. We gonna play ball. You can, have a good time, and then I'll just bring you back. And then he was like, so you just gonna chill? I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. So I went. I ended up like damn near reffing the game and all that kind of stuff. So we leaving, and he says, I'm like, remember this when I asked you to do some things. Again, like we just said, this needs to reciprocate. Consider this a down payment on something I'm asking you to accomplish. Put in the same effort that I put in tonight to making sure that you got here and that the fees that you owe were paid and so on and so forth when I asked you to accomplish some goals or to handle some of your responsibilities. And he was like, no, Pop, I feel what you're saying. I want to make sure that I don't do anything wrong. And I'm like, whoa, back up. It's not about you doing things wrong. If I was a gambling man, I'm telling you, I'd be putting my money on you fucking up way more than I'm putting my money on you getting things right.
Right.
You're allowed to make mistakes. You're not allowed to be lazy. You don't have to perform for me.
Right.
You don't have to put on a show for me. You don't have to pretend like you know everything, because I know you don't. I'm the one who's been teaching you up until now.
Right.
My love for you is not going to change because you screwed up.
Right.
My respect for you will change if you decide that you're going to be lazy.
Right.
If you have no missing assignments and you're failing every class, you're not grounded. You need assistance, and it's my job to provide it. Right. Whether it's tutoring or whether it's extra classes, maybe you're not in the right grade, we can have all of that conversation. But as long as you have no missing assignments, you've completed everything, all the homework, all the classwork. You've attempted every test. I physically see you studying.
Yep.
You're not grounded.
Yeah.
You are not in any trouble. We need to sit down and have a serious conversation about what's next. You are making mistakes.
Yeah.
Now, if you got 6 missing assignments and a D+ in the class, if the teacher said you ain't turned in none of your homework and you got a C, you grounded than a motherfucker.
Yep.
You are through with me.
Yeah.
I got no patience for that at all. So yes, don't put on that performance. You already have me whipped.
That's right.
Up until now, everything about this relationship that I have with my son has been reciprocated.
Yeah.
Y'all know my kid. I don't have a bad kid.
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, things are reciprocating. I'm whipped. Right now, if he want it, he gonna get it. Until he gives me a reason otherwise. I refuse to spoil my kids, man. And at least, and I probably spoil my daughter more than I spoil my son, and that's just me taking responsibilities for my own actions. But I'm working on it. Trying to do better.
That's the work.
Hey, look, some of y'all fucked up too.
Don't be attacking our
I felt judged. I did.
Don't be attacking the
I
audience.
felt judged. I did. I seen the way you looked at the screen. It's cool. Maybe it's just my house. It's fine. Whatever. But shit. Yeah, man. So yeah, I guess that kind of that brings that. But man, listen, when I tell you he be anticipating mistakes.
Yeah.
And I tell him, like, because he plays sports, and I'm like, I don't really care about the last play.
Right.
Your next play needs to be your best play.
Yeah.
And that shit don't. I say it in sports, but it don't just apply to sports. It applies to so much more than that. Yeah. It's like, bro, that shit works in life.
Man, I've been
make your next move your best move, bro.
I've been watching this documentary on Will Smith. Man, shout out to Will Smith.
Okay.
He was talking about
friend of the show.
He was talking about his father.
I don't know if he's a friend of the show or not. I just like to hear it. I just like to say that.
He was talking about his father.
He's our friend of the show.
His father had him and his brother build a wall, right? And he said that his father would get on them about stop thinking about the wall. Just focus on placing each brick perfectly.
Yeah.
Get your mind off the wall.
Yep.
Stop thinking about how much work is ahead of you. And just focus on one brick at a time. And that's a valuable lesson.
Boy.
That's a valuable lesson, man.
Very much.
Because it's easy to get overwhelmed.
When you look at the brick. When you look at the wall.
Yeah.
This one brick seems simple.
Just focus on the brick.
One brick
Place
at
one
a time.
brick perfectly. And then the next.
At a time.
And then the next. Just focus on one at a time.
Yeah. Patience, man.
Patience.
Having the patience to not look at the wall, to just look at that. And listen, I forgot what Marvel movie it was. I think it was Civil War. So the patient man can accomplish anything. Can accomplish anything, bruh.
Yeah, indeed.
If you got the time to sit down and dedicate to it, a patient man can accomplish whatever the fuck he wants.
Snail pace.
For real.
And if you know somebody that's spoiled or whipped.
What are you looking at? Are you looking at the camera?
Is that
what you're doing?
The show's for you.
Are you making eye contact with the camera? I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? No, I just did it too when they was judging me, but it's cool. I ain't tripping.
Man.
Oh,
good discussion.
I enjoy it. I miss doing this. I did. That break, I'm gonna be ready to get back in the lab.
That's the point.
When we come off, off the holidays, that is for sure.
That's the point.
For sure. Hey, y'all like my shirt?
Yes, sir.
If y'all want some merch, you go ahead and email the show. Leave it in the comments. We would love for you to be rocking the show.
Yes, sir.
Let somebody ask you where you got that from. We go ahead and tell them.
Yeah.
Check them out. They're on YouTube.
Yeah.
They got a Facebook and some other stuff. Check them out on YouTube.
Yeah.
We send everybody to the YouTube page.
Yeah.
There's links to all of that fun stuff. And again, y'all, I can't stress this enough. Me and they had this conversation all the time. It's not about positive feedback for us. It's about feedback.
Yeah.
If you hated the show, please let us know. Maybe we can make improvements. What I can't guarantee is that your opinion will be incorporated into the production. What I can say is that your opinion will be heard and it will be considered. That's all I'm guaranteeing. I'm not guaranteeing nothing else.
It's the only guarantees we can make, man.
That's all we can do.
That's it.
I was about to add, what episode is this? Do you know?
10.
10.
Wow.
So we only got 2 more episodes to do?
2 more for season 1, man.
Wow.
Man.
We should do some softer topics, like some either ors. Like, what would you rather be able to breathe underwater or fly?
Huh.
Kind of scale it back a little bit. Just come in with not so heavy. That's not who we are.
Nah,
it's not who we are.
I couldn't even imagine
it's
those
not
discussions.
You know what discussions I do want to have?
What's that?
I want our listeners to email the show and let us know what's going on with you.
Indeed.
And I want to have conversations that will help some of the people that are tuning into this show.
Just to start the discussion.
It could be the discussion. But regardless of all of that, yeah, I want all of them problems. I want all of them issues. What these young kids saying nowadays, I want all the smoke.
All the smoke.
I want all of that. Good times. Dom, you got anything, man? You good?
Just living life.
Nah.
I don't think this is on. Is it on?
Yeah, I got you in the
have
headphones.
my headphones on. So
yeah, I got you in the headphones. They heard you.
it's good to know.
Living life. Living life.
God.
All right, y'all. Well, listen. Nate, you got anything before we get out?
Man, y'all have a good rest of the week out there. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell.
All of that.
Yeah.
All of that. And as always, close the show with, you wake up in the morning, God gives you 2 things, a chance and a choice. Make sure you make the most out of both of them. I'll holler, y'all.